On a breezy April afternoon, Emily encountered David at a quaint coffee shop she had never visited before. As a senior, she was passing time between classes while her thesis advisor managed a faculty crisis. David, 10 years her senior and dressed in a sharp navy suit that exuded confidence, had entered the cafe for a quick lunch after recently securing a higher-paying job, still unfamiliar with the area. He approached Emily's table with a friendly smile and asked, "Mind if I join you? The place is packed, and I could use some company." Flattered by his attention, something she rarely received from someone like him, she moved her laptop aside and replied, "Of course, feel free." They engaged in light conversation about their lives. Her unfinished novel, his new project management position, and the enticing pastries on display. Time slipped away unnoticed, and when David checked his watch, he realized he had missed his entire lunch break. He requested her phone number, which she wrote on his receipt using a purple pen. By the end of the week, their FaceTime conversations had far surpassed her homework hours. Their relationship progressed rapidly. 6 months later, they were sharing rent in a sunlit one-bedroom apartment, and 3 months after that, they exchanged vows at a county clerk's office. Emily transitioned from the worn furniture of her dorm to David's stylishly decorated condo, complete with leather furniture and framed road trip memories, along with a balcony offering a picturesque river view. David encouraged her to take her time before entering the workforce. "No rush," he said over takeout on their first night in the new place. "Finish your novel, I've got us covered." Grateful, Emily finally allowed herself to relax, a feeling that lingered for years. David appreciated returning home to the aroma of dinner and the sight of his wife humming to indie music, even if her manuscript remained largely untouched. One Tuesday, over baked ziti, Emily mentioned that her best friend, Faith, was hosting a birthday dinner at their old college hangout that Friday. Faith had been her steadfast companion since orientation, supporting each other through dorm challenges and difficult relationships. David, accustomed to Emily catching up with friends while he socialized with his own group, arranged a poker night for that same evening. On Friday, Emily donned an emerald dress that David adored, kissed him goodbye, and took an Uber to the restaurant where the celebration was already in full swing. Confetti adorned the tables, sangria filled pitchers, and Faith wore a tiara proclaiming her as the birthday queen. Laughter filled the air as toasts were made and appetizers disappeared. Later in the evening, Kevin and Alex, 2 brothers who had been college heartthrobs, arrived, eliciting a rush of excitement in Emily. They approached with grins, and soon the group had merged, reminiscing about their college days. Hours passed until the married couples departed, leaving Emily, Faith, and the brothers amid empty queso bowls and crumpled napkins. Faith, who had been subtly signaling her interest in Alex, leaned over and whispered, "After party at my place." Alex was intrigued, and Kevin raised his glass in agreement. Emily hesitated, reminding herself she was married, but the allure of the evening and a bit of sangria led her to agree. "Okay, just for a bit." They shared a ride, and in the back seat, Kevin rested his hand on Emily's knee, drawing small circles that felt unexpectedly pleasant. Faith's apartment welcomed them with the scent of vanilla and fresh laundry, and as they engaged in drinking games and danced to nostalgic tunes, the night took a wild turn. At 1 a.m., Faith confided in Emily that Alex had suggested a 3-way with her and Kevin, and it seemed like an opportunity for Emily to join. Overwhelmed by vodka and nostalgia, Emily surprisingly found herself agreeing to the proposition. Before long, they were caught up in a whirlwind of passion, only for Emily to later find herself in Faith's shower, grappling with guilt. Returning home in her emerald dress before David arrived, she slid into bed, feigning sleep. David came home late, unaware of anything amiss. For a month, life continued as if nothing had changed. Then, David invited Emily to a lake house weekend with his friends, to which she agreed on the condition that Faith join her for comfort. As the evening unfolded, a game of Never Have I Ever commenced, and Faith, emboldened by tequila, blurted out, "Never have I ever had a threesome with 2 brothers." Gasps filled the air, and Emily's face burned with embarrassment as Faith shared all the details. David's expression hardened, and he quietly processed the implications of what he had just learned. Later he confronted Faith, who, in her inebriation, divulged everything. David left the cabin, returning home to pack Emily's belongings before she even arrived. Despite her attempts to apologize and explain, his decision was resolute. The divorce papers arrived swiftly, and Emily found herself moving into Faith's spare bedroom, feeling utterly lost. As gossip spread about the events of that night, Emily faced unwanted attention and intrusive messages, leading her to change her phone number. Without David's financial support, she struggled to find work, ultimately settling for a cashier position at a local grocery store. Exhausted and disheartened, she collapsed on Faith's futon one night, mourning the loss of her husband, her home, and the future she had taken for granted. Longing for a chance to rewind to that fateful night and make a different choice, she realized that life only moves forward, and regret is a heavy burden to bear.